thing's orbit is stable, right? Ada checked before we docked? Captain?
Nice work.
Tragedy, two teams is a blunder. Shush. We're talking, concentrating. Damn it. I almost had it. The formula was in my mind and I almost had it. I was so close to a breakthrough, I could practically taste it. You really did pick the worst time to manifest. Sky High, my magnum opus of psychostimulants. I feel like I've already explained this to the last hallucination. Oh, hang on. I see what's happening. You're real. Ergo, not a hallucination. This is interesting. I have several questions for you. Let's start with the obvious. Who are you, and how are you even alive? All sorts of things. Science, mainly. Little bit of research. If you're talking about all the dead bodies, that'd be the pink slip protocol. Right. That answers that. Next question. Do you come bearing fresh pharmaceuticals?
I don't think this fellow's entirely in his right mind.
Look, we all know you're here to interrogate me. If I'm going to go through this ordeal, I'm not doing it sober. New friends mean new birthdays to keep track of. And I can't spare much room in my mind palace for frivolous trinkets of information. But in this case, I'll make an exception. No, you don't. There's nothing interesting in the chem lab. There's nothing interesting in Gorgon at all. Gorgon is a featureless rock dragged along by the gravitational current of a barren asteroid belt. The chem lab is a graveyard. You won't find anything there but the dead. Dr. Olivia Ambrose was one of the finest scientists in the colony. If you're risking your life to retrieve her journal, there's likely a good reason. If you've set your heart on exploring my old labs, I won't try to dissuade you. Indulge me with a favor, and I'll give you the access you want. The electromechanical turbine is offline. Without any power, I can't possibly continue my work. Be a dear and reactivate it for me. That's all I ask. Not that it's any of your business, but I don't get to quit. My colleagues are dead, and yet I live. So I don't get to quit. Take the elevator to the storm platform at the top of this facility. Reactivate the turbine, and I'll give you the access you want.
You make it look so easy.
Deft hands, Cap.
Son of a terror! Is there a single planet in this fucking colony that ain't trying to kill us?
Here we go! can't hang around for a bit? Or we could leave it as it is.
The facility's back on the grid, and my pipes again floweth with the sweet, sweet essence of my salvation. I suppose I have you to thank for realigning the machine. Of course, Jasper, you imbecile. You'll need my voice to get into the chem lab. I'm obviously not coming with you, so I'm giving you a recording of my dulcet speech. This recording should get you into the chem lab. I hope whatever you're after is worth the trauma. I wouldn't go back there if I was higher than the mercury levels in a can of salt tuna. Wait, take my gun while you're at it. If you end up dying on Gorgon, there's a non-zero chance I'll feel partially responsible. Neither of us want that. Die, perhaps? Automechanical sentries are generally programmed to ignore corpses. I don't like the idea of going back to that place, to that life. Yes, I know it's not me risking my throat gallivanting around Gorgon. It's you, for whatever madcap reasons you've got. I've helped you once, and I don't feel great about it. I made a clean break from Gorgon, and now it feels like you're asking me to tether myself back to that place. I suppose you've got a point. Or something resembling a point. I'm emotionally addled right now, and I'm allowing my sentiments to get the better of me. Here, my personal security keycard. There's a hallway near the processing room. It leads to a security terminal. Use this keycard to unlock the hallway and disable security. Did you snoop through my things? And just admit it to me. You do have gall, I'll give you that. Look, I keep a draft on my terminal where I vent my occasional frustrations with upper management. It's honestly one of my less detrimental coping methods, as I am not stupid enough to fill out the name in the address field. Even if I wanted to talk about Project Gorgon, I couldn't. All my memories of Gorgon are intact, but they're in disarray. Like a book with its pages shuffled. Making sense of those memories requires clarity of mind. Clarity that only Sky High gives me. To tell you everything I know, I'd have to be dangerously euphoric. All right, just one inhale. Easy does it, Jasper. ever seen a lake as still and clear as a mirror? That's how my mind feels right now. The author, Dr. Olivia Ambrose, was one of the most brilliant minds in Halcyon. She wouldn't have kept a journal for something as tawdry as mere sentiment. Dr. Ambrose never made it out of Gorgon alive. That's the sort of thing that happened to the project's best minds. They were killed. They turned marauder. Or they became me. I don't want to know anything about Dr. Blakesley. My lab was a source of constant frustration for her. We were the reason human inquiry couldn't do its job. The OCI pressured my lab. Under pressure, we delivered poor samples to human inquiry. Human inquiry tested poor samples on human beings, leading to adrenatime, leading to marauders. I'm starting to lose sight of my own thoughts. Entropy reasserts itself in the palace of my mind. The high never lasts more than a few moments. I suppose you're right. I do need to relax. Up you go, old friend. And just like that, the demons of my mind have all gone silent. The disaster at the chem lab was my fault. I tested adrenatime on primals. I decimated my own research team. And I was a coward. I locked myself up in isolation. I told myself that I needed silence and solitude to perfect my formula for Sky High. But the truth is that I was ashamed. Nothing? Everything? I told myself I needed a drug to help me focus, help me work. The weight of guilt crushed my capacity to work, but if I didn't work, then I was worthless. Adrenatime was like that. It was designed and marketed as a necessity, an elixir of productivity. It made you feel guilty for not using it, and then hurt you when you used it. I'm starting to lose sight of my own thoughts. Entropy reasserts itself in the palace of my mind. The high never lasts more than a few moments. I shouldn't. Thank you, but I'm starting to reach the threshold of my tolerance. I'd have to clear my mind in order to answer your questions, and that requires a truly irresponsible dose of Sky High. And admittedly, a truly spectacular high. All right, I'll humor you. Indulge you even. For what better life could a scientist want than one spent answering questions? Up you go, old friend. Lawrence Goodfellow and his vultures in the OCI drove my team to death and picked our bones clean. They wanted us to develop a miracle drug. Fitting, because developing a viable, humane drug with no time, no resources, and no personnel would require a fucking miracle. The Roman solution, he called it. This is what happens when powdered-up elites from Byzantium try to manage the lives of a whole colony. They act like emperors. Every researcher I lost was valuable. They all had lives. They all had talents. They're all dead now. Or worse, marauders. And guess what? I've got their blood on my hands. I'm starting to lose sight of my own thoughts. Entropy reasserts itself in the palace of my mind. The high never lasts more than a few moments. I can't tell you how badly I want another hit right now. I love how simple you make it sound. Cheers to at last freeing myself from the monotony of unremitting failure. You don't know how beautiful it is in my mind right now. No cares. No anxieties. No yesterday. No tomorrow. To forget time. To forget life. To be at peace. I have absolutely nothing to say. Possibly ever.
They'll never see us. You make it look so easy.